So, Lizzie, obviously you want to win every time you take the field, but I know a big part of these games early in the season is to kind of test yourselves. You're playing a Big Ten team today. Just how did you feel you and your teammates did out here in a narrow 1-0 game?
Yeah, I mean, all the way from the start to the bench, I feel like we brought the energy, and that's exactly what we talked about before the game. Even if we weren't having a high moment, like to bring that energy just to keep our team motivated, whether you were on the bench or on the field, and I feel we did a really good job of that.
Then it felt like you personally, you came off the bench and you were dynamic right away. You really tested their keeper, put a couple shots on goal that, maybe a lesser keeper doesn't get to. Just, I guess, talk about the mindset of, coming in, kind of making things happen when you get your chance.
Yeah, obviously, coming off the bench, I'm looking to make an impact as fast as I can and basically cause them the biggest problem that I can. And our instruction was to run as hard as we could, and that's exactly what I tried to do, just to give them a challenge and give some other players a little bit of a break.
It seemed like you guys had a lot of offensive pressure throughout the game. There was a lot of offside penalties that kind of plagued you guys. What is maybe a remedy for that, and what was Illinois doing maybe?
They were obviously very physical, and the ref played into them a little bit, which obviously we kept the energy, but we talked about defending set pieces, and I feel we set up pretty well for those, so pretty decent on those.
9 newcomers on this team, but also 5 other players that didn't play at all last year. So kind of a lot of new faces from last year to this year. 2 games in now, how do you think kind of the team is coming together?
We've been saying it since we've been back in July that something about this year feels a little bit different, and I think this past game we especially felt it, that we're coming together and really becoming one team, and something about it is just different than before.
Coach, I know obviously you want to win every time you come out and take the field, but also a big part of these non-conference games is testing yourselves against the best teams you can find. You played toe-to-toe with a Big Ten team today. I guess just talk about, obviously the result wasn't what you want, but how the performance looked to you.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. I think, you think about Thursday's result, happy with the result, maybe not happy with the performance. Whereas today, I think happy with the performance and maybe not happy with the result. I think for people watching that maybe aren't clued into Division I women's soccer, I don't know if you would know who the Big Ten team was on the field today. I thought the performance was excellent. I think especially in the first half, we were able to execute our game plan. In possession, caused them a lot of problems, had a lot of big chances, but those are the chances you need to put away, right? If you want to win these games, you got to put the chances away. But no, overall, I'm feeling disappointed with the result. I don't think we deserved the loss. I think it was a very even game, but yeah, ecstatic with the performance and something we can build on.
I'm sure you and your staff, you've got some tough decisions when you're figuring out that starting 11, but obviously it's not necessarily who starts. It's a 90-minute match, and you've got a lot of people you can cycle in. A couple kids off the bench today, and I want to mention Lizzie Boltnick in particular, came off the bench and immediately made things happen. I guess just kind of talk about that balance and depth that you're looking to create.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things on Thursday. We went with a strong lineup, but it gave us a few selection nightmares and headaches when it came to substitutions. We started 3 wingers. And so then, it just caused, it was a little challenging. And so today it was we wanted to keep people in the positions that they're expected to be in, rotate them through there. And Lizzie was one of those, obviously she's coming off the bench as a striker. And we knew today that our strikers were going to be in for a game. Wide center backs from Illinois want to keep the ball as well. So it's a lot of tireless running from the striker to control the press and keep them in the direction we want. So we knew we were going to be playing 3 strikers in the first half just because the amount we're asking them to do. Second game of the week in the heat. And yeah, Lizzie made an immediate impact, like you said. She worked, but that came from her work ethic, tireless running, selfless running at times, because that's what you're expected to do in that role, and then just running behind, and had 2-3 chances, and really excited for her.
And you mentioned selfless in terms of work ethic, but also, feels like you could say selfless just in terms of overall attitude. Kids could be unhappy they're not in the starting lineup, but I think you've seen today in multiple cases, just when you're going to get your chance, and when you get your chance, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, and I think that's always a difficult thing for any coach in any sport, right? Is when you're picking, and especially in ours, when you've got 11 players on the field, it's not always the best players that play. It's about what's the balance between of the group, what's the relationship like of the players, what profile of player do you need based on the opponent, where the space is. And so yeah, it's tough. I think obviously for the players on the bench, they have every right to be disappointed.